Let's look at 5 cybersecurity predictions for 2025. Hey guys, Alex Rouse here from Microage. It's 2025, can you believe it? I have to admit, I sort of thought I'd be riding around on a hoverboard at this point, or maybe even flying in a car, but there was some really cool things that happened in 2024. For instance, I never thought I would see a rocket reverse land on a launch pad. That was nuts. I also never imagined I would be driving around in my own self-driving car. It's a crazy time. But the truth is, the hackers have also been evolving what they do, and we're gonna see more of that in 2025. So what I thought would be fun today is let's look at 5 cybersecurity predictions for 2025. And the first one we're gonna start out with is an oldie but a goodie, and that is ransomware. Ransomware is nothing new, and there's not a whole lot changed from 2023, 24 to 25. Except for the advancements we're seeing in how the ransomware is applied. For instance, it's no longer just about encrypting your data in your network and charging you to unencrypt it. Now, a lot of the bad guys copy your data off the network, so if you don't pay, they threaten to release it to the public. That's kind of compelling. So I think we're gonna see more of the same, but what's changing is Gen AI models are helping the bad guys write malware and ransomware code more effectively and faster. In fact, I would even say that a simpler script kiddie type of a hacker can now write their own malware using Gen AI that used to require nation state level actors to do. So the accessibility of ransomware is the real problem I think we're gonna see in 2025. So what do you do about it? Well, first of all, make sure you have modern and current endpoint detection and response capability on all of your endpoint devices. A lot of the newest ones can absolutely help you mitigate against ransomware. The second thing is make sure there's a 24/7 staff of people, whether it's in your organization or outsourced to someone like Microage, that can help you detect when those things happen immediately so you can respond. And lastly, think of data loss prevention solutions that will detect when large amounts of data are being copied off your network, whether from a rogue employee or from a ransomware group, and then you can shut that down right away. Number 2 on our prediction list is how Gen AI is going to be used to create more 0 days at speed. Now, what's a 0 day? Well, a 0 day is the day that we discover a hacker has compromised a vulnerability and launched a cyber attack using a vulnerability we've never seen or heard of in the past. That's day 0 for us understanding the attack. Now, what I'm talking about here is Gen AI models from Google Gemini to Microsoft Copilot or OpenAI's ChatGPT, or a little bit of an unknown beast to us. We don't know a lot about them. In fact, some of the smartest researchers out there can't really explain how some of the large language models produce results that they do. We also, as the public, don't necessarily know the data that goes into training these large language models. So, as hackers use prompt engineering to get really creative for how they ask questions of our large language models, they're discovering vulnerabilities along the way. These are 0 days, right? We're gonna see a real fast growth of 0 days coming out this year in 2025 as hackers compromise our systems and learn how they work. This is gonna be hard to mitigate against. So what I would tell you is be careful what data you put into your large language models and be wary of any data that comes out. Double check the information, make sure it's trustworthy. Now, number 3 on our list is how Gen AI is gonna interact with our personal data. So what's interesting to me is we've had phishing emails for a long time. That's nothing new. But Gen AI is allowing average people to generate really sophisticated, very convincing phishing emails, as well as write code using malware, writing malware code that used to require really advanced certified people. So Gen AI is bringing, I would say, malware to the masses. And where this is going to impact us is specifically around deepfake and deep audios. So earlier this year in February, there was a really fascinating attack that happened in Hong Kong. A worker was tricked into transferring $25 million to a bad guy. How did he do it? He was invited to a Zoom session where he saw visually and interacted over video with his CFO and a couple of associates. That's pretty compelling. I have to admit, if my CFO is live on a video with me and tells me to transfer $25 million to one of our clients, I'm probably gonna do it, and this guy did too. And it turns out this was a long game of a cyber attack where they spent a lot of time creating a deepfake video to replicate the likeness of his coworkers. And he transferred the money. I think we're gonna see more of that this year in 2025. There's gonna be more than one grandma who gets a phone call from a grandchild asking to post bail to get them out of jail. And they're gonna write a check for $5,000 and that's gonna be part of their life savings. But it's gonna sound like their grandchild on the phone. That's what a deepfake audio is. There's gonna be a lot of manipulation of our employees and our companies as well, not just in the payroll department, but in the payroll department and commission payouts, in how we, the emails that we receive and how convincing they are. So be on the lookout this year for deepfake audio and deepfake video, as it's gonna be a bit of a problem. Number 4 are what I call pass keys. Now we all know what passwords are. It's something we know. The problem with passwords, it's a terrible form of authentication because passwords are something that we typically make easy for us to remember, but that also makes it super easy for a computer to guess. Sometimes we also share our passwords, which we shouldn't do, or we write it down somewhere where we shouldn't, and someone sees it. So moving to pass keys is the idea of a cryptographically created digital key. It's a private key and a public key that you create between your device, like your laptop or your iPad or your iPhone, and a web service like a website. The only device that can log into that website is going to be the device where your private key is stored. Well, a bad guy who's remote on the other side of the world might be able to get your password and log into your account, but if you're using passkeys, they won't be on your device where your digital key is stored, therefore they can't log in. We call this passwordless technology, passwordless authentication, or phishing resistant authentication. I believe that passkeys are gonna really make a growth comeback in 2025. They've been accelerating since 2022, but the adoption's been limited because operating systems and web browsers just haven't supported the full range of capability of passkeys. But this year, I think we're gonna see them accelerate, which is a great thing for our market. The 5th prediction for this year is how SIEM solutions are used. Security, information, and event management. These are the big platforms like Splunk or IBM QRadar or FortiSIEM that collect information from all of our networks, from our devices and our firewalls and our network appliances and our endpoint devices, and it tells a security researcher who's watching that screen 24 hours a day when a threat's happening. So we've had SIEM solutions for many, many years, and the next evolution of them was to add automation so that they can auto fix a lot of issues that we might see coming in from the environment, like auto take a device off a network port. What we're gonna see this year is the growth of AI agents. So we know what an AI chatbot is. That's where you're interacting over a command prompt with some sort of a chatbot that gives you information. But the program responses are very limited in scope. It's kind of like a vending machine. There's limited options to get out of it, and there's a small keypad of input you can put into it. But an AI agent is much more broad. They use large language models behind them, so they have a large amount of knowledge. You can even suck in corporate data into an AI agent so that it can give you information and make decisions and reasoning on your corporate data. Imagine we take all the information from a SIEM solution from maybe Microsoft Sentinel and run that through an AI agent on the front end so that we as a security operations center operator can ask smart questions of the data in order to pinpoint and find out where a threat might be coming from. And it searches all the data and gives us answers. I think we're gonna see AI agents and SIEM integration really take a step forward this year, which will be a lot of fun. So those are my 5 predictions for 2025. It's gonna be a great year. There's so much to look forward to. There's regulation coming down the pipe that's gonna require companies to take security more seriously, which we desperately need. We've got companies every week taking multi-factor authentication more seriously. There's a lot of M&A, merger and acquisitions gonna happen this year as private equity firms continue to buy up some of these newer AI-based cybersecurity firms. It's gonna be a fascinating year. I can't wait to watch it. I hope you'll watch it with me too. Stay tuned on these videos for more information, and remember to stay safe out there. Thanks.